Alright, welcome to Cigar Audit. Matt, Matteo, and Edward here to review the Isabela Serpentine in Belicoso. So this is a 6x54 stick in the Belicoso Vitola. So Mr. Ed, how does your cigar look and feel and smell?
Well, the construction looks pretty good. The seams are tight. There's a little bit of veininess, not much, but it has that nice musty smell.
The musty ballsack smell, or just the musty smell?
You know.
I'm gonna say.
You smell it enough.
I'm gonna go with fungal.
Okay.
I'm gonna say fungal. What about you, Mateo?
I would agree. I think there's a bit of a sweet hay smell, some dirt, earthiness, and I can get some fungal, maybe like a mold. The construction on mine, there is some. You were saying your seams are pretty tight. Mine look like a couple of them are a little bit loose, where the lighter leaf is sort of peeling away from the darker leaf, just slightly.
Yeah, my seams are tight actually. I do have a little wave to
causes
it.
any issues.
Yeah, I do have a little wave to it. Yeah, it's a barber pole. As far as the tobacco, this particular cigar, it has an Ecuadorian Connecticut and an Ecuadorian Habano Maduro barber pole, and the filler and binder is Nicaraguan tobacco. Well, mine is packed pretty tight. What about your pack, your fill?
Mine's very, it gives a little give. It's soft, but it's,
I have a little give here at the foot, and actually you can see
there's a lot in there.
Sparsely populated at the end of my cigar, but
What'd you do to it?
I did nothing to it.
Mine's quite firm.
I bet it is. So anyway, we'll get these cut up and give you the pre-light. My pre-light draw is a very sweet tobacco. Yeah, very sweet. Almost. I didn't think it was a sugar treatment, but it tastes like a sugar
I'm
treatment.
getting sweet hay, and although the stick is quite firm, there is good draw.
Yeah, this is a good draw too.
Well, my draw is a little tight. Hopefully when it heats up and loosens up a little bit. I'm getting a sweetness and a very sweet spice. I have to say it's something that I don't really recall, a taste that I recall getting from a cigar before. It's rather unique to me. I don't know if that has to do with, well, I'm not even in the wrapper. But it's not overly strong. I mean, I just lit it. But my palate is overpowering right now by the sweetness, this sweet spice. But I'm not getting a lot of smoke yet, a lot of draw.
Mine's the opposite. I'm getting a lot of smoke. Tons of foot smoke, as you can see there. I would get like a charred wood and kind of like a vegetal, a slight bitterness with the sweetness. So it's an interesting combination. Looks like Ed's going for a second cut.
Good call.
Good call. No, I think that it's interesting. I wouldn't say that it's complex or anything at this point, but the fact that you get some bitterness, like a natural bitterness, and a natural sweetness at the same time is compelling. What about you?
Sweet, fresh, mild, clean are words I would use to describe the flavor on the first couple of puffs. No spice on the retrohale yet. It's a pleasant flavor, and I can see, like you said, a little bit of woodiness.
Yeah, and I think the finish is definitely like a cinnamon, nutmeg type of sweet spices, not a black pepper, but a little bit of that texture on the finish. So, pretty good start.
Yeah.
Now that
And it does leave some sweetness on your lips.
It does.
Like you said, it might be sugar treated. I'm not sure.
I didn't think that it was, and thank you to Isabela Cigars for providing these for review. It didn't say that it was sugar treated, so I'm not sure, but it sure as hell tastes like it is. Not a bad thing though. It's not. It honestly doesn't taste artificial like some of the ones do. It tastes natural, so maybe it is natural.
It's very good.
What about since you're cut? Is it better?
That's a little better. I am getting a little bit of very mild, like white pepper on the retro hair, but just it's a background. It's in the background. It's not in the forefront, very overpowering. But it's like I say, it's a very unique blend
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
taste that I don't think that I've really experienced before.
I think I'm getting a little bit of honey.
Is that some of that sweetness?
I think I'm thinking honey.
You know what's really different about this in the beginning here is some of the vegetal notes that you typically get, the bell peppers and things like that. I'm actually getting kind of like that natural bitterness I was saying is kind of like a mixed greens, like you would get in a mixed green salad, and then you get that sweetness that mixed in with it. And I get white pepper through the nose as well, but a vegetal sweetness. So it's very different. I like it. We're pairing this. We're pairing this cigar with a local winery to Maryland. It's Old Westminster Winery, and this is their 2014 Cab Franc. Ed and I went to an event there a couple weeks back, and for a local winery, I got to admit that typically when I go to one, I kind of think, oh boy, here we go. But it actually is a winery where the wine, in my opinion, holds up to California level wines or even some international wines, I think.
Well, keep in mind, they've been voted one of the top 100 wineries in the country, so
Yeah.
that's saying something.
So this is the Cab Franc, and I had some about a week ago. It's very good. Usually give it a good 20 to 30 minutes to open up, but it's a very good wine.
And I do not drink wine, so I am enjoying some Balvenie Scotch, which is quite tasty.
So we'll get further down in the cigar, and we'll let you know how the first third progresses. Welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt, Matteo, and Edward here to go over the Isabela Serpentine from 2016. So I'll start with you, Matthew. How was your first third, sir?
First third was excellent. My burn has been staying great, actually. It's been very level the whole way around. I had a lot of honey and hay flavor. The retrohale did have a lot of that white pepper. And then towards the end of the first third, at one point I actually got a taste of manure for a second. And
Yummy.
And then the very next retrohale that I did had a lot of very spicy pepper. A big transition that I wasn't expecting. But all the flavors have been very good so far, and it's burning great. Excellent draw. So far, so good.
Yeah, I would. My flavors are a little different than Matt's. I would say I have my binding flavor is earthiness, but I definitely get that natural sweetness, vegetal sweetness, with the bitterness. Kind of like those bitter greens have gone away. I definitely, on the finish, I get cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of black pepper, and through the nose, it's mainly white pepper and a vegetal sweetness. So very good though. Construction's very good here on my end as well as on Matt's end. So with it being a Barber pole, sometimes the burn is a little uneven, and also Maduros tend to burn a little slow and sometimes tunnel. So I'm a little worried about that, but at this point, I can't say it's happening. So super excited. So I'll move over to Edward. Your cigar, sir, your first third.
Well, pretty good ash. The only complaint, it's still a really tight draw. I don't know if it's plugged up here or not. I've been massaging it a little bit. It's opened up a little bit. The sweetness, I think, is subdued a little bit. And like Matt said, more the earthiness, and every once in a while, you get a little bit of a blast of the white pepper. And some transitions as the different flavors sort of come to the forefront and then go into the background. And like I said, the burns a little, not razor sharp, but
A little wavy.
a little wavy, but because that's to be expected with the different wrappers, I would think.
But the ash is holding well. And in general, I would say, would you say medium full? It's not overly strong?
I would
Medium?
leave full out of the equation.
Or just medium? Yeah.
I think it's transitioned from very mild on the first few puffs to a medium.
See, mine wasn't mild at the beginning because that charred wood note and the bitter greens were pretty strong. So I'm going to say for the most part, mine's been medium, slightly medium full. The finish on mine, do you guys have a longer finish? Because I do.
I think it is, but it's a very clean finish. It's not a grubby
Yeah.
finish.
I would agree, but it's definitely. Do you get the sweet spices that linger for a while?
Yeah, I mean, the first couple of puffs I had was just sweetness, sweetness, sweetness all the way through. Now I know what's going to come up on the.
Sweetness, sweetness, sweetness all the way through.
I know
That's
who's coming up on the. Who's going to show up.
Just a little bit.
My finish is so long.
So long.
So long.
So long and so hard.
You wouldn't believe it.
Oh, I might. First, third, performing very well. Very excited, and again, thank you to Isabela Cigars for providing these. So we'll get further down in the cigar, and we'll let you know how the second, third was.
Gracias, Isabela.
See. Well, welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt, Mateo, and Edward here to go over the second, third of the Isabela 2016 Serpentine, or Serpentine, however you want to say it. So,
Serpentine.
Serpentine. All right, your second, third, sir. How's it been?
I had one tiny touch up where one side was not burning as quick as the other. Easy fix. Overall, construction's still been great. The second, third really kind of mellowed out, and I'm getting a mild hay, less pepper. The honey's kind of going away as well, a little bit less sweet,
Yep.
but more mild.
Absolutely. Edward, your second, third, sir.
I would agree. Mine's opened up a little bit, but the hay is really coming out now.
Mhm.
From before, I was sort of very much in the background. Once in a while, I'll get a little blast of white pepper. My ash held on pretty good, but my wrapper around the label is starting to.
Now, was that because of your massaging technique, or?
Maybe,
Okay.
but I don't think so.
And Ed does have his massaging technique down. He don't be tickling or nothing.
You don't be tickling or nothing. My second, third, very similar actually. Definitely that hay note is kind of the binding flavor. You're an asshole.
I am.
Anyway.
Bob said I knew it was coming too.
My second, third has a lot of that hay flavor, but it also has, I would say, a tangy leather. And yeah, there's some tangy leather in there.
Tangy leather? Tangy leather. I've never.
Have you ever had tangy cream?
I don't want to. But thank you for the invitation.
Anyway, but definitely you get some leather notes in there, and I would say still that sweet spice finish, but also some black pepper. You guys haven't said much about black pepper, but I definitely get that
White
on
pepper.
I get white pepper on the retrohale, but I'm getting black pepper on the finish with the sweet spices.
That's
In addition to that, I did my ash held on very well, but once my ash did fall off, I started to cone a little bit. So I did a little burn touch up to try to fix that. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll finish up this cigar and we'll let you know how it progresses. Well, welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt, Mateo, and Edward here to finish up the Isabela Serpentine from 2016. So I will start with you, Edward, this time around. Your last third, how has it been?
It's sort of transitioned into just like a earthy tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Not overly strong, like I said. Probably stayed about medium and maybe under. A lot of the sweetness and the hay has sort of subsided. I'm just getting a lot of that earthy tobacco. The finish, like you mentioned earlier, is probably a little bit grubbier than it was, not quite as clean.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
And my draw finally opened up now that I have that much left.
So you must have had a little bit of a knot then
Yeah, I
by the
think so.
by the band point. What about you, Mateo? Your last third, sir?
I agree, just earthy tobacco. Still mild, not quite as sweet. Some sweetness did come back at the beginning of the last third. That's been in and out. There are sporadic pepper notes still on the retrohale, but more often than not, there is not much spice to the retrohale. So there's still a little bit of mini transitions in this last third, but overall it's not real complex. It's just a mild tobacco for the most part. Still a very pleasant flavor. All the way through, I've had good burn, good construction, excellent draw. So.
Yeah, I would say in general, my construction, I had that little bit of coning after I dropped ash, but Construction was very good. My last third, I would agree, it kind of a natural tobacco, a little bit of earth to it. I actually got a little more sweetness throughout the third, and sometimes it actually showed up in the retrohale, and sometimes the retrohale for me got a little spicy, like a strong white pepper. Finish again, actually my finish started out grubby in this third, but towards the end here, it's actually gotten clean again. But still those sweet spices and enjoyable, but in a just a relaxing, straight ahead cigar type of way. But the sweetness, I really tried to pinpoint what it was, and I actually had a hard time figuring it out. It's just like a natural, generic sweetness, but it's pretty good.
At this point, my last draw, I finally got that bitter green that you were talking about. It almost tastes like kale.
Yeah.
And it's a long finish of that bitter vegetal note. That's the first time I experienced it was at this point.
Interesting. Now, I didn't find it unpleasant. Do you find it?
It's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice, very different flavor than you normally get in a cigar. So I enjoyed it very much. And I'll ask Ed on the wine, just since we were pairing. How's it opened up for you?
Oh, that's right. Well, I'm a Cab Franc fan anyway, and this is one of the better ones that I've had, even from France. Certainly in this whole area, since I've been to just about every winery around here.
Yeah, I have to say that the Cab Franc, as far as the Old Westminster Winery 2014 Cab Franc, it is very well balanced. So there's nothing that stands out as far as strong floral notes. It's got some floral notes, but it's also got a little bit of a natural sweetness to it. So not a sweet wine, don't get me wrong. I think it's about 14% alcohol, but very well blended, and kudos to you guys at Old Westminster Winery. It's very good stuff. So it is time. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ed. How would you rate said cigar?
Well, I probably would have rated it a little higher due to my draw issues. And if I saw this stick in a shop, I normally would go right by it. But it had a lot to offer, a lot of flavor, sweetness, hay, the white pepper. Not an overly long, strong cigar, but I think it would be good for especially beginners. I'm going to go probably a 90.
Yeah, I kind of would have done the same. It's not a brand that you typically know. It's a small boutique brand. And I'm glad that I was able to try it out, because I will look from time to time. If I can find it in the shop, I'll pick one up. I would say in general, it's not an overly complex cigar. It gives you very pleasant flavors. I would say the first third is definitely the best third, because it has that slight natural bitterness, that natural sweetness, a little bit of pepper zing to it, and very clean on the palate, thick smoke, an enjoyable experience. I'm going to go 90 as well. I think that this cigar, if the second and last third were anywhere near the first third, it would be mid-90s. It was really performing well. But I knock it down a little bit. My construction was good, so maybe I'm being a little picky. But I think a 90 is a great score.
I really enjoyed the honey hay flavors in the first third, and at that point I was probably thinking like a 95. It did have excellent construction all the way through. I think overall I give it a 92.
Yeah, it's a very good cigar, very well constructed, and when you have the barber poles, that sometimes isn't something that you see out of those types of cigar makes. So
I got a good one.
Yeah, and mine is good too. And I think Ed's had a little bit of a plugged cigar there, but in general, quality smoke. So check them out. They are at IsabelaCigarCompany.com. You can order direct off their website, and it's good stuff. I might order a small batch. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Check us out on Facebook, and Instagram, and the Twitter tube, and all that stuff. Just definitely check us out at CigarAudit.com. All right, we'll see you next time. Peace out.
See all you herpers at Cigar Fest.
That's right, Cigar Fest coming up in May. See you then.